I have an action-packed video for you right now. Behind me is the all-new Rivian R1S SUV, and in this video I'm gonna show you how it drives on the highway, give you some impressions. I'm gonna do a 0 to 60 in the real world with all-terrain tires, see if this 835 horsepower all-electric SUV is up to the task, and also show you all the features. So strap in, let's go, let's get it done. Alright guys, are you ready for a 0 to 60? Well, I'm here at the Motor Club, closed course. My Draggy is connected. I'm using the app and the Draggy satellite device to measure 0 to 60s. I'm gonna quickly select sport mode, lower ride height. That's the best way to launch this thing. And well, they say 3 seconds is possible 0 to 60 with street tires. I am on big chunky tires, so we will see how that works. It looks like sport mode is enabled. Slam on the gas and go. Let's see, 3.8 seconds. That was very fast. I think on a better surface, maybe with smaller tires and street tires, closer to 3 seconds I think is possible. And yeah, I think the power is here. Let's take a closer look at the new R1S. This one right here is sitting on a 20-inch wheel. I actually love this design, especially with the silver and the black. These are the all-terrain tires, 275 65 R20s. These are Scorpions Pirelli all-terrain tires, specifically built for Rivian, and they're snowflake rated, and they could subtract up to about 40 miles or 41 miles out of the range of the new R1S. The EPA range is 316 miles, which is actually a couple miles more than the R1T truck. You still have the key right here, so you could lock and unlock it. It still does chirp and comes back to life, but a little bit different now. You double tap it and the rear hatch opens, and it's a split hatch. I think this is cool because it means it has a tailgate. The tailgate is manual. This tailgate here, this little shorty, they say is capable of about 500 pounds, so I could sit on it. Then in the back, of course, well, 3 rows of seats, as you can tell, right here. Lower that down, and there's a couple of configurations you can have here in the storage area. You can move this panel out of the way. There is another panel here, and the reason why it's sticking up just a touch, it's because I hid my backpack, my gear bag, all the way in this compartment. So this is about just over 5 cubic feet of space. You can put a couple of bags here, but if you notice, there is no spare tire. The options they have is you can have a kit to repair a tire issue. You can have a compact, space-saving spare tire, or if you are going on an adventure, you can arrange it so you could lower these seats, and then you can have a lot of space if you want to mount a spare tire, a full-size tire. All right, let's go for a drive. I have a little bit more to go before I get to the hotel we're staying at for this first drive program, and we're here in the rural areas between little towns in New York State. Here's just the first impression about how the R1S drives. It's, as you can tell, it's fairly quiet. It does have the sophisticated suspension system. That was standard regen braking. I did not put my foot on the brake, and it's holding me. So full one pedal driving, and works pretty well. You can also have an aggressive regen braking option. Now let me accelerate onto this highway. There you go. I'm at speed limit right now, just kind of gentle application of throttle. Charge speeds, level 3 is between 150 and 200 kilowatt, depending of course on the charger. There's the fast charger. Level 2 is available to about 11.5 kilowatt. And Rivian is unveiling chargers, both level 2 and level 3. The Rivian Adventure Network, they have their own network of chargers coming out as we speak. Let me show you some of the neat features here in the front. Of course, the seats are just as comfortable and they're heated. The center console is very similar to what you will find in the truck. You can see it's fairly large. There's a wireless charger here, but the phone may move around. Here are my keys. There are 2 cup holders that can hide or pop out. Here, yes, the very important Rivian speaker / lantern can play up to about 6 hours of music, or also work as about 4 hours as a light as well. The gauge cluster has some redundant information. There is some navigation on the left, your vehicle, which is kind of a live image. So even if you turn your wheels, you can kind of see the images changing. Of course, your gear selector and your status, your battery, your miles left of range, your height on the suspension, and the mode. In order to change the modes, you click here. There's many. All purpose, pretty standard. Sport, of course, I'll show you that with the 0 to 60. And it also can lower your suspension, or does lower it. Conserve, off-road, lifts you up and gives you many more modes. Towing, switch to towing. The Rivian R1S can tow up to 7,700 pounds, not 11,000 like the truck. It's a bit different. And that number, 7,700 pounds, is actually pretty competitive. Other large mid-size SUVs are in the same neighborhood for towing. Your trailer brake gain is here. You can control it here. And also on the steering wheel, you can actually control that as well. Then for off-road, there's 5 other modes: all-terrain, soft sand, rock crawl, rally, and drift. I have a separate off-road video where I show you exactly how the R1S compares against the R1T truck on a fairly challenging, muddy New York trail. Up to 15 inches of ground clearance. You can hear the suspension working right now. Then also the trip meter. I wanted to show you that. I've been driving for about, well, almost 4 hours, 123.5 miles, and I've used, or my consumption is 2.24 miles per kilowatt hour. For a large vehicle like this that weighs 7,000 pounds-ish, this is not a bad efficiency. This SUV also has a Rivian Driver Plus driver assistance system. It has lane keep. It still requires you to put your hands on the wheel, or at least keep your hand on the wheel. It will try to help. It'll help you steer. It will do adaptive cruise control system as well, and it can also warn you if you're veering out of lane. You can adjust that if you want. 23 speakers in here, premium stereo system. So yeah, it truly is a premium SUV. So middle row. First thing that I noticed immediately is this seat. I actually sink into it just a little bit. it feels comfy. This is my driving position in the front, and I can slide the seat back and forth, and I can be comfortable. Lots of headroom with the panoramic roof. That's a good thing. I can also recline or come forward. I can sit bolt upright. I can recline. Ah, nice. And the glass is tinted. It's getting a little bit more sunny now. It's been raining today and the weather's been changing. But what about the third row? Let me show you. So there's a couple of ways of doing it. First of all, you could still slide this back and forth, and it slides, by the way, 40-60 split, but 20% of the seat can be folded down this way for longer items if you have skis or something else, which is pretty cool. The entryway doesn't look big, and it's not super big. I would call this kind of a mid-size-ish sort of pass-through. So let me see if my big frame can get in here. I think I'll just use one of my legs here, and I'm just under 6'3", almost 6'3", so I can go like this, slide it backwards, get it this way, and lock it down. In the third row, I still have a great amount of headroom. I'm really pleased by that, and still knee room. These 5 seats here in the back have child safety seat latches. I have my own vents back here. I have a nice armrest in the third row. I have my own charger port, and I can still let myself out by hitting this button, and I think it's good overall. My knees are a little bit high for a taller person, and the egress way is a little bit narrow, but if you consider all those things, still it's a pretty decent 7-passenger vehicle. Well guys, there you have it. First real world trip. 2.24 miles per kilowatt hour is not too bad. 3.8 seconds 0 to 60, a bit mind-blowing, and hopefully now you have a total picture of what this new SUV is about. 316 miles of total driving range according to the EPA, approximately 200 kilowatt fast charging, which is pretty fast, and the rest. You're probably wondering about the price. Yes, they're starting to build these in Normal, Illinois. The price starts at $90,000 if you're ordering an R1S right now, which is about $5,000 more than the truck version of the Rivian. And if you reserved it prior March 1st, 2022, of course, your previous pricing still applies. All that is still good. And you should be getting your SUV hopefully within the next few weeks or months. But if you want to order it still, you'll have to pay a little bit more. But I think my first impression is that it's worth the money because it's pretty comfortable for up to 7 people. It's quick. It's also off-road worthy. I have an off-road video that you can also find at alltfl.com. One-stop shop for everything automotive. Thank you very much.